I am a huge fan of The Weeknd. If you don't know who The Weeknd is, he's basically, I don't want to put him on the same level as Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson was incredible, but he's basically around the same level as Michael Jackson. He's very, very popular. Um, as I said, he's my favorite artist of all time. I absolutely love his music. I have quite a few of his vinyls or his albums on vinyls. I've listened to his albums countlessly. I've done a deep dive into his background, his history, his music. I am a super fan of The Weeknd basically. And when I heard that his latest album, which is Hurry Up Tomorrow, or his final album, is also coming out with a movie, I got really excited, but not really at the same time. I got really excited because I was like, oh, well, shit. Okay, we're getting a new album, the last album, and we're getting a new movie to go along with it. Okay, well, shit. Maybe The Weeknd's actually, progressing his life and removing himself from The Weeknd and becoming his own person, which is Abel Tesfaye, which is his real name. Um, and as you can tell already, I'm very passionate about The Weeknd. I'm already not making jokes about him. I'm already just getting straight to the point. I'm very passionate about The Weeknd and his music. His music has actually helped me in my life. It has actually got me through breakup, got me through hard times. Uh, had it helped me face problems that I couldn't face by myself. Basically, just his music means a lot to me. And when I found out that he was making a movie about, or the album he made was based on the movie, that's what I meant to say. I got really excited because I was like, oh, well, shit, okay. But I also didn't get excited at the same time because if you guys remember, this isn't The Weeknd's first media that he's made. He's made a TV show called The Idol that only lasted 5 episodes. And there was supposed to be a season 2, but after those 5 episodes, it was canceled. For good reason, because that show was absolute garbage. I fucking hated that show, and I think everyone on Earth hated that show. The only good thing about the show was the cinematography and the music. Because The Weeknd made the fucking music. That's it. That's literally the only good thing about the TV show. The TV show was awful. But anyways, I didn't have high hopes for the movie, but I was like, you know what? I don't know this director, but from all the interviews I'm seeing with the director, The Weeknd, and Jenna Ortega, I was like, okay, well, shit. Maybe this movie is actually going to be good. And I watched it yesterday on May 14th, which it comes out May 16th, but since I'm a super fan, I was like, I'm going to go to the early screening. I have to go to the early screening. So I went to the early screening, May 14th, or in other words, yesterday, because today is the 15th, but I won't upload this video until the 16th because that's when the movie actually comes out. And I might talk about spoilers. I probably will. But I went to the early screening with my best friend Josh, or my editor. Um, Both me and him left with basically the same thoughts. What the fuck just happened during the movie? What kind of fever dream did we just walk into? Because don't get me wrong, the movie was really, really good. Far, far better than The Idol, his shitty TV show. But, what the fuck even happened during it? I shit you not, me and Josh, anytime any bizarre shit would happen, we would just slowly turn to each other and go, what the fuck is going on? And which I know I'm jumping all over the place, but they're my thoughts are in just a huge jumble right now with this movie. But first off, when we first walked into the movie started at 7 o'clock at night. I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say there. And we got there, I would say maybe 5 minutes after 7, because I mean, movie theaters, they don't start the movie until 10 to 15 minutes after the actual time where it's supposed to start. the time they give you when it starts is basically the time where you should show up, basically. But we were waiting for that. When we went up to the thing, because I prepaid for the tickets, I paid for both my ticket and Josh's ticket, which was not even $35, which I actually thought was a little too much, but also kind of like, for two people, whatever, that's fine, I guess. I just don't like going to movie theaters because how fucking expensive they can be, when I can just go online and find the movie for free. But there's its own thing with that. But when we paid for it, or sorry, when we went up to them and they scanned my QR code, they actually gave us two posters, two movie posters, which I didn't know that I was getting. And I was actually like, oh shit, I'm actually really excited that I got a movie poster. And here is the movie poster. Okay, on camera, it looks like it's backwards. What if I do it this way? Okay, if I do it this way, it doesn't look like it's backwards. Either way, I got a really cool poster. So yeah, that's the poster. I actually really like the poster. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. But to be honest, when I move out of my parents' house, I'm definitely going to buy a movie poster frame, and I'm gonna plop that bitch in there and hang that on my beautiful wall. What the fuck is my hair doing? But yeah, we got the poster, and I wasn't expecting to get a poster, so I got the poster, and I was just like, oh shit, we got two posters, one for me, one for Josh. Damn, okay, wasn't expecting this. Josh has his poster. I obviously kept mine, because I looked at Josh, and I was like, do you want the poster? If you don't want the poster, I'll keep both. And he was like, nah, I'll keep the poster. And I was like, okay. I kind of wanted both, but if you want it, you can have it. No, I'm kidding. I honestly don't want two posters, but whatever. When we actually walked into the theater, which we went to a movie theater called the NCG. It's like the only movie theater around us that's like, I think, not even 10 minutes away. But we were kind of confused on what like room to go into, because I didn't know that we were going to the extreme movie theater that they had. Because in the NCG movie theater that we have near us, is they have obviously the normal movie theater screenings. Then they have a extreme one, which has like really comfortable... What are you doing, Mikey? My cat wants to sit up on my lap. I'm sorry, Mikey, not right now. Anyways. We didn't know where to go at first, because I didn't know that it was in the extreme screening. And then we were like, well, the ticket says extreme. Extreme's down here. Let's just go there. We went there. They had a playing now thing with the movie poster, and it showed Thunderbolts, which is a Marvel movie, and both me and Josh looked at each other and went, is this the right fucking place? This says Thunderbolts. We're watching a movie called Hurry Up Tomorrow with the fucking Weeknd, not a goddamn Marvel movie. But it was the same movie. Or, sorry, it was the Weeknd's movie, so it was like, okay, we're good. We walked into the theater. The seats, since it's the extreme theater or whatever, we had really comfortable seats, which the seats were really comfortable. They couldn't recline or anything. They were really comfortable, though. There wasn't too many people in the theater, which when we pulled up to the movie theater, there was barely anybody in the parking lot. I saw more people during the fucking Minecraft movie than the Weeknd's movie, which I guess makes sense because it's fucking Minecraft, but it kind of pissed me off a little bit. But walk in, there's probably like maybe 20 to 30 people in that room. It really wasn't that much. There was like an entire row of people directly sitting in front of us. Me and Josh like actually got like the perfect seats in the theater. We got seats that were dead in the middle and at the perfect height. So we were sitting pretty. Also, just want to say, me and Josh snuck in food. We snuck in Little Caesars. They had like bite-sized pizza cupcake things. I never had them before. Josh was like, fuck it, let's just sneak them in. So we snuck them in, and it was kind of funny because you could obviously smell it, but you couldn't see it. So, um, so yeah, when we get into the actual movie, we're just waiting for the ads to stop. But I think both me and him are just on our phone. I was actually looking at some of the trailers because one of them was 28 years later, which I've never seen. 28 hours later, 28 days later. I definitely want to watch both of those because the 28 years later one actually looks really cool, but that's not what this video is about. Um, so yeah, that was playing. Then the lights dimmed, and I looked at Josh, and I was like, ooh, I'm ready. Ooh, I'm ready. And then it started. That's not a bad thing. It's just, when it started, I wasn't expecting what I got. First off, it I don't know if this is going to be in the final release, I guess, or if this was just the early screening, but the very first thing you see is just basically a music video from The Weeknd, but he's singing a song. Well, he's singing the very last song of his album, which is Hurry Up Tomorrow, and the song is called Hurry Up Tomorrow. It's basically him talking about how he knows he's made past mistakes. He wants to fix them. He's extremely sorry for them. When people die, they go to heaven, or supposedly, if you believe in that. And he says that when he wants to die, he wants to see heaven, so he's willing to change. He's willing to take all the pain that he is going to endure with that change. He's willing to change in general, even if it affects him in a horrible way. He's willing to change. And that's basically the whole song, which that song plays a huge part in the fucking movie, which this is spoilers, by the way, from now on. It plays a huge part in the movie. I love The Weeknd, but for fuck's sake, man, I don't need to hear the same song that basically made this movie 20 times over and over and over again. I'm sorry. I love the song. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love the song. But fuck's sake, I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it that much. I really don't. But it basically just turned into like a music video at first, and I was just kind of like sitting there enjoying the music because, it's The Weeknd. I'm going to enjoy the music. And I was just jamming along, and then I was like, oh, okay. And it literally went to a title screen that said, Hurry Up Tomorrow. And the entire fucking movie theater went, oh, is that it? Well, I guess that's good. Like, one guy literally said, oh, that's it? Well, I guess it was good while it lasted. And then, the movie theater laughed. Fucking Josh kind of, like, embarrassed me. I wouldn't say embarrassed. It was kind of just, like, him being him. Like, since we snuck in Little Caesars, he looked at me in the middle of dead quiet in the movie theater. The movie theater was dead quiet. He just goes, hey, you gonna eat that? And the movie theater laughs, and I'm like, God fucking damn it, Josh. You're such an asshole. Fucking, like, come on, man. But anyways, that was funny, though. Josh, if you're watching this, which you probably are, fuck you for that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that happened. It was basically a music video. Then it cuts to, like, him, I guess, warming up his vocals, which he does, like, a thing. I can't really do it, but he does, like, a weird thing with his mouth, which the entire movie theater was laughing at it because it was kind of silly. Just seeing The Weeknd just death stare the camera and going with his mouth. It's like, okay, what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing my sexy man right in front of me, but, like, I don't want him doing a brrr in my fucking face, especially that close where the camera was. But anyways, that happens. He's basically about to go on stage, and his, I think, producer or manager or whatever, he's like, oh, hey, you have to, you know what? I actually don't remember them. As I'm relaying this, I don't remember. What I will say is that there's a part where it just cuts to, like, Jenna Ortega, which, let me say this first. Jenna Ortega is my celebrity crush. I absolutely love her. In this movie, I absolutely loved her. she, I'll hold my thoughts, but, well, I'll hold certain thoughts, but just, she made me act up. That's all I'll say. During this movie, damn, she made me act up, especially during the third act, the final act of the fucking movie. I was like, damn. She's making me fall for her, like, even more now. God damn. But yeah, anyways, it shows, like, her just, like, burning down a house. I think it's Abel's house, like, his childhood house. I could be wrong, but I honestly don't know. I kind of want to say that it's also supposed to represent the Weeknd's mindset, because at the beginning he's kind of sane in a way, like he doesn't really go through anything just yet. But then I guess right when she lights the house and burns it on fire, that's when his mental state starts to, like, deteriorate. Because there's certain parts where they even show the house, like, fully engulfed in flame, and he, the Weeknd, is just, like, completely broken down, like, as a man at this point. And they also show the show where he loses his voice, which, if you don't know, I think it was in 2022. The Weeknd, he did a concert, I don't remember where, but he did a concert where mid-show he literally lost his voice, and he told the audience, "I'm sorry, I can't sing because of my voice." And he felt like, if you actually look up the footage of him losing his voice, which I've seen, like, plenty of times, if you look up the video, you can see he's absolutely heartbroken that he cannot sing. He's absolutely heartbroken because he loves his fans and he wants to give them a good time, and they spent a fucking fortune on his concert. They want to see him perform, but he just can't. So they show that in the movie, which they show it a little different, which I don't get why they did it this way. He literally just, in the middle of the show, he tries to sing, and then Jenna's also at the show watching him, like, literally looking at him from, like, the stage, basically. And the second he loses his voice the first time, she catches it, but nobody else does. And it's like, bro, you're singing into a mic. Not one person's going to hear that. The entire fucking audience is going to hear that. But, okay. And then he just kind of just, like, goes like, "Oh, shit," to himself. Like, "Oh, okay, that just happened." And then, like, Jenna's just, like, staring at him, just like, "Oh, I feel bad for this man," which is like, okay. And then he just kind of just, like, swings the mic, kind of goes, "Oh, yeah, whoa," while the song actually plays in the back. He's not actually singing it. And then he tries to sing again, fucks up his voice, and then he just leaves the stage. He just leaves. What? He just leaves. And then locks himself in his fucking changing room. His manager or producer's like, hey, open up the door, man. You got a show to do. What the fuck you doing? Come on, man. You know. And he's like, "No, fuck you. It's my voice, my guy. It's my voice." You know, the thing from the album where he's like, "It's my voice. I can't fucking sing. It's my fucking voice." You know, that part in the album. And then as he's running away, I guess running away from his concert, which it's like, dude, on stage you didn't even say anything. You just literally got on stage, sung one song that you couldn't even sing, and then you just left without saying anything to the audience or people who were running the show. You just fucking left. Like, I'm sorry, if that shit happened in real life to an artist, they would be in deep shit. They would be in deep, deep, deep shit. But, yeah, he does that. As he's running away, he stumbles upon Jenna, and he's like, "Hey, you kind of sexy. You want to come with me?" And Jenna's just like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" It's like, bro, what? Jenna, you're just gonna agree to this shit? You're just gonna agree to go with, yes, he's a pop star, a very famous one, but like, I'm sorry, if I just saw The Weeknd and he just went, "Hey, you want to come with me?" I'd be like, I don't know you that well. I do love you at like you're my idol, but like I don't know you that well. I'm not just gonna go somewhere with you. Unless I have like a police officer or a bodyguard with me, then yeah, maybe. But like I'm not just gonna go somewhere with you. Like what the fuck? And then it which this entire movie is like riddled with like basically short little music videos, and when Jenna and The Weeknd go off on do their own thing, they basically just have fun. Uh it just plays another song from the album. I mean, good song, but it just turns into a music video. Oh, and the whole reason why The Weeknd lost his voice in the movie, at least, I don't know if this was true to real life, but the reason why he lost it in the movie is he broke up with a girl and he was the toxic one in it. She wants to completely remove herself from him. He doesn't want that. He tries calling. Oh my god, my hiccups. He tries calling her, trying to get her attention. So he's like, "Hey, come on, I want to be back together," even though I was the piece of shit in the relationship. And then it's like, dude, what the fuck? And then literally right before he's about to be put on stage, as he's getting his outfit on, he's like screaming at a voicemail to the girl, basically being like, "I'm better than you. I'm literally gonna die as a legend because I'm The Weeknd and you're just gonna be a fucking nobody." And then he just like throws the phone at the mirror, and you can see his producer in the cracks of the mirror just going like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. How could this happen? Oh my god." When the fucking producer before was kind of just like, "Hey, can you like calm down? You literally have a show to do. Can you like calm down, please?" Which that clearly didn't happen. Anyways, going back to Jenna and The Weeknd. Jenna and The Weeknd have a really good time, which I'm pissed that Jenna Ortega got that close to The Weeknd. I wish I got that close to The Weeknd. One thing I will say is, though, I'm surprised they didn't kiss in the movie. They had so many scenes between Jenna Ortega and Abel Tesfaye, The Weeknd, where they were literally forehead to forehead, nose to nose, and they did not make eye contact. Lip eye contact? And they did not make lip contact. They did not kiss, which was very surprising because, again, there were so many scenes where it's like, oh, they're gonna kiss. Oh, they didn't kiss. Okay, I would have kissed him, but okay, that's just me, I guess. It's like, whatever. But The Weeknd and Jenna have a really good time. Jenna likes it more than The Weeknd. The Weeknd at one point tells her, "Hey, don't leave me. I really like you. You know, don't leave me." Then the next day, The Weeknd gets up and he just doesn't really pay attention to Jenna. He's just kind of like, "Hey, I got shit to do. I gotta go to the doctor, and then I have to go to wherever the fuck this tour takes me." And then Jenna's like, "The tour is taking you to Australia." And he's like, "Oh, is that where it's taking me? Okay, I guess so." So The Weeknd's just like, he doesn't even know where his own fucking tour is going, which is kind of fucking stupid. You're a pop star, a very famous one, on tour, but you don't know where the next stop is for your tour. I feel like you would have that shit like memorized so you know. Like, okay, I mean, I'm not a pop star myself, obviously, so I wouldn't know what goes on in that mindset, but me now, I feel like I know what I would think about. Like, you know, where my next tour date is, where I'm going, you know? But Jenna's like, "Okay, well, let me take you. Okay, well, let me go with you because you said, you know, you don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone because we just shared trauma last night. You even showed me a song that's not released yet. So, I mean, like, shit. I thought we had something." And he just kind of like, "No, that's not how this works. You know, I'm a famous pop star. You're just a girl. I basically use you, and you go on with your life. I go on with my life. And that's it. And if I want to see you again, I'll just call you up and we can do that again, and then again go our separate ways. And she's like, no, I don't want that. After the good time we had last night, I don't want that. What the fuck? And The Weeknd, which this is funny, the entire like movie theater actually laughed at this, which I was actually laughing too. The Weeknd gets like so mad at her. He literally says, "Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm done with this. Shut up. I am leaving." And he literally turns around, walks out the door. Before he can open the door, she rushes to a dresser with a bottle of alcohol, grabs the bottle of alcohol, pops him in the head with it, and then he just drops to the floor. And it's like, oh, okay. And then right after that, the fucking movie turns into a goddamn horror film, which both me and Josh absolutely loved, because it went from like this guy, you know, we're experiencing his trauma, experiencing why he's doing the things he's doing. And then all of a sudden it just changes to horror, and it's like, oh shit. Like, there's a scene where in the morning before The Weeknd got knocked out, The Weeknd just wakes up and he's looking at his phone. He has a bunch of missed calls from his mom, manager, just people close to him that know that he's in the music business. Mainly his mom, you know, like just a bunch of voicemails, messages, and shit like that, because he just left the stage, left his concert. And since he showed Jenna Ortega a unreleased song, she's in the shower just singing the song to herself, and The Weeknd notices this, and he looks back like kind of terrified, like, what the fuck? That's kind of weird. That's kind of obsessive if you think about it. And then he's like, what the fuck? And then the whole sequence happens where I just told you about, where he's leaving. She hits him with the bottle of alcohol. He falls. As he falls, it plays that scene again, but altered. He wakes up, looks at his phone. There's no notifications. Looks at his contacts. There's no one in his contacts. So his phone has basically been completely wiped. And it's like, when both me and Josh saw that, both me and him thought that, oh shit, this is probably like the next day, and she's holding him hostage and making him only be with her, basically. Or at least that's where I thought it was heading. Judging by Josh's look, I thought he thought that too, but I could be wrong. But me and Josh were like, yo, what the fuck? And then the Weeknd hears Jenna singing that song again. He turns around and he's like, what the fuck? Then he goes to the bathroom, opens the door, no one's in there. So it's like, okay, what the fuck's going on? And then The Weeknd leaves his hotel room, and then he goes to the lobby of the hotel. No one's in the hotel. Nobody is around. He walks out of the hotel. He's just in the middle of the street. Nobody is around. He's literally completely alone. There's nobody around, no cars, no people, no fucking birds, no bugs, nothing. It's just emptiness. It's him and only him. Which, I found that shit really fucking cool, actually. Where he just wakes up and it's like, oh, where the fuck am I? And even he's like, okay, what's going on? And then I can't remember what happens next, but he wakes up again in like just pitch black. And then he's in, I want to say like a desert. There's a weird campfire or bonfire. He walks to it because that's the only thing he can do. There's literally nothing but that bonfire. He goes to it, and then he's just staring at the fire, looks to his left, and he sees himself, but as a child. And when the baby Weeknd showed up, Josh looked at me and goes, oh, is that the baby Weeknd? And I looked at him and I went, yeah, it is. And he was like, yo. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's basically him just staring at his younger self, which that plays a whole role in the trilogy album with After Hours, Dawn FM, and Hurry Up Tomorrow. That plays its own thing. And then he kind of wakes up just tied to his hotel bed, tied with his hands like this, kind of like crucified, and his feet are also tied to the bed. Jenna obviously tied him down, and Jenna basically just makes him face his trauma because she's like, no, I want to be with you, and in order to make me be with you, I'm going to make you face your trauma so we can be together. And it's like, all right, bitch, what the fuck? What's going on here? And she plays a bunch of songs from The Weeknd, and she just dances to them, which I really liked that scene. She plays Blinding Lights, Gasoline. There's another one that I can't remember what. But she plays Blinding Lights first, and she's literally just dancing while she's lip singing it, and basically telling The Weeknd, what is the song about? What is it about? A woman? Your mom? Your father? What is it about? Who are you talking about in this? Literally becoming like a therapist to the guy, basically, while also torturing him at the same time because he's tied down. And which, when The Weeknd finds out that he's tied down, which this is a very funny scene, he's literally like, what the fuck is going on? He says fuck a lot in this, by the way. He's like, what's going on? Untie me, untie me, untie me. What's going on? What's going on? Untie me, untie me. That's like the only thing he says. And it's very funny because the faces he makes too, me and Josh were dying of laughing with the faces he was making. Because The Weeknd, don't get me wrong, he was a great actor in this movie, but some of the faces he made, it's like, bro, this shit is fucking hilarious. But yeah, she's literally like going on top of him, side to side, bouncing around him, singing the songs, dancing to the songs, while trying to make him face his trauma. And then The Weeknd just plays like the song that he showed her, and he was gonna, like, as Jenna's like, hey, tell me what the song's about, tell me who hurt you or who you're trying to fill your shoes in, or whatever the fuck. It sounds like he was about to say my father, but he said and then right before he said father, she cut him off. So I think he was gonna say my father again before she cut him off, but I mean, I could be wrong. I could not be wrong. I don't know. I haven't done a deep dive into this movie. I've only seen it once. But yeah, and then after that, he just sings the unreleased song, but he sings it fully, basically. And then I think the movie just kind of ends. His producer also, at one point, while this is happening, or while The Weeknd is basically being tortured by Jenna, his producer just kind of finds where his hotel is. And then I think he's like somewhat drunk or wasted or high or whatever. And he's just kind of like, hey, I know you're in there. I can hear. Let me in. And then Jenna opens the door, but she keeps it cracked, like that little chain thing you put on the door in like hotel rooms. She puts that on, opens the door so it's cracked, and she's like, he's not here. He left. And then the guy's like, no, I know he's here. I'm not stupid. And Jenna's like, you are stupid. He's not in here. And the guy's like, all right, bitch. And he basically starts like banging on the door to the point where the entire lock pops off the door frame so he can freely walk into the door or walk into the room. And he's just sitting here like, whoa, what's going on here? First off, the door leading to the bedroom is closed, so the producer can't see Abel tied up. And when his producer did show up, The Weeknd tried yelling for help, but Jenna covered him with a pillow to make sure he, wouldn't say anything. He still lives, but she muffles his voice and then gags him so he can't speak. And then she kind of, lets him in, like I said, and then all of a sudden she obviously doesn't want him to see The Weeknd tied up for obvious reasons. And So she decides, let me fight back. And the guy's fighting back too, because, I mean, self-defense. And the producer proceeds to strangle her, which I don't get why he strangles her. If I was the producer, I would, yes, wrestle with her. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? No, you're literally stopping me from getting to my employer, my boss, the guy who I literally work for. You're stopping me from getting to him. No, fuck you. I'm gonna wrestle with her, but I'm not just gonna strangle her at the very end. I'm gonna be like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna wrestle you, pick your ass up like a fucking bag of potatoes, and throw you out the fucking hotel room. I'm not gonna strangle you, though, because in a way, you can set that up as self-defense, but it's like, bro, if there was any other witnesses, they would have just seen you just strangle her. It's not really self-defense either, because she throws a fucking bottle of alcohol at him to stop him from going into the bedroom. So again, he didn't need to strangle her to the point where she almost died. And since he is strangling her, she picks up a glass shard from the bottle she threw at him and stabs him in the neck, which that made both me and the entire movie theater in shock, because we were not expecting that, because it's like, oh shit. And previously in the movie, his producer and The Weeknd have a very, very good relationship, to the point where I thought the relationship was gay, because both The Weeknd and the producer, they get very, very, very close, to the point where in my mind I was like, are they in a gay relationship or something? If they are, good for them, but it's like, if they are as well, just come out and say it. Don't try to hide it. It made them seem like they were actually gay lovers, and it's like, I mean, if they are, they are, but why are you trying to hide it? If they are, what the fuck? I mean, it was just kind of funny, but I mean, whatever. But yeah, she stabs him. He's, bleeding out, and I think he's even saying shit like, oh, no, please, no, and then he fucking, bleeds out, which they showed a very, very close-up shot of him bleeding out, and when I saw that, I was like, damn, I actually feel bad for this guy. What the fuck? Then she just goes back to The Weeknd, just kind of just, and she literally just stays next to him with her hand on his chest, just kind of just trying to calm herself down. And The Weeknd's just sitting there like, oh my god, my friend, my longtime friend, possibly gay lover and producer, is dead now. What the fuck? And then, yeah, after that, it plays The Weeknd sings the song that I said already. And then I think it just ends. I mean, yeah. There's a lot else that happened in the movie, but to be honest, I can't think of it right now. But, I mean, overall, I'd probably get the movie a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, I absolutely loved the cinematography. God damn it, my hiccups or burps, whatever the hell. Damn. I absolutely loved the cinematography. Absolutely loved that. The color grading or the color choice that they picked for the movie was absolutely amazing too. There were some scenes where it's like, I can't really see what's going on. It's a little too dark. But then there's scenes where it's like, ooh, that lighting looks really good, especially in the hotel room. The lighting in the hotel room during the final act actually looked really good. I loved the editing. I'm a sucker for really good editing in movies, TV shows, and all that. I love the music, obviously, because the music is from The Weeknd. I absolutely loved it. I love the synthwave in it too. I love synthwave. The acting in it was really, really good. There were times where Abel, which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he hasn't acted in too much movies or TV shows or just in anything but his music videos. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that. But his acting was good for the most part. But there were certain parts where it's like, you could have done that a little bit better. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Overall, it was a really good movie. Far, far, far better than The Idol, his shitty TV show. Far better than that. But hey, I enjoyed myself. I think the money I spent on the early screening was worth it. I mean, shit, I got a fucking movie poster out of it, a free movie poster. And I got a good film out of it too. I got more lore to The Weeknd. I got more, I guess, experience with The Weeknd. I got to see more of him, which, I mean, that's obviously what I want. I love The Weeknd. But yeah, I mean, this video is already long enough. I know I've been talking about this movie for a while, but I just had a lot to talk about with this movie. I'll most likely upload this, well, for me, tomorrow, because that's the 16th. That's when the movie actually comes out. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's basically about it. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. It's your own opinion. You have free will. Use it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.